able to move the ball pretty well. I think went over the 50-yard line the first 7 possessions. What's the key to finishing and putting the ball in the end zone more than twice?
I think the key is just our execution down there. I think a couple of times we shot ourselves in the foot, and we really can't have that in the red zone, or in the especially when we're in their territory. So just being able to execute, run the play that's called, and run it. We were able to. It seemed the whole game we were, like you said, kind of in that 50-yard, getting in that area. So just finishing, and we had situations there we had to kind of go for it, but we know that there's a lot more in there, but it's an encouraging start the way we were able to move it versus a really good defense, a really sound defense that's been really good for a long time. So just keep working at that, but definitely some things to build on, and really hit it hard, but, be critical at the same time, but also know that we did do some good things that can really bolster us going forward because it is a long season.
How impressive was, especially after watching it on tape, David Montgomery's performance?
Oh, he's picked up right where he left off last year. I think at a certain point he really figured out what we were doing, and we all kind of clicked at the same time, it seemed like. So to be able to come back this year and build on that and follow it up with that performance, I think he only had probably 15, 16 carries. So it's impressive. It's just a testament to what he was doing in the offseason and getting himself ready to be that guy for us, be that back for us again.
You talk about that clicking with him. The timing kind of coincides with when you went back to right tackle last year. I mean, what kind of difference do you think that had on it clicking?
Yeah, I it's a position I've played a lot, and I'm comfortable there, and I think I've done a lot of good things in the league there. So for me to be any type of asset to the team there, I'm excited about it, and I think everybody kind of found what they were really their role last year. Alex stepping in at guard, and then James this year getting back, and Cody going back to left, and Sam kind of stepping in there and becoming our leader and the guy that tells us where to go. I think it just all worked together, and it came together, and sometimes you just figure it out, and I think it's just going to continue to pay dividends for us going forward because it's just going to keep getting smoother, and we're going to keep being able to know what works for us. And I think a lot of things did work for us in week 1, and we'll keep finding new things, but it's encouraging the things that did work and that we're able to move it, even though we wish we would have finished it a little better on some drives.
I mean, I know as an offensive lineman, you guys like to run block. It doesn't matter if it's 8, 9 in the box, you guys want to run block. But realistically, when you see 5 and 6 man boxes, there's probably that always wants to run against that, even if there's been a pass call. Okay, how do we get to a run play when there's a 5 and a 6 man box in front of us?
Yeah, it's interesting. I do hear that a lot. I hear that linemen love to run block. And we do, but we also just like to do our job. They call a pass, you execute the pass, and you feel good about it. They call a run, you execute the run, and you feel good about it. Running the ball kind of puts a little less pressure on you, I guess you could say, because pass protection is in a way dropping back passing is harder to account for, but you always want the challenge. So if they're calling the pass in the 5-man box, you block it up and you do it to the best of your ability. They call a run, you come off the ball and you do your thing. But we're always down for a challenge. I never think I want to run here, I want to pass. I just want to block the assignment that I'm told to do, and when you do that, it's pretty satisfying.
Coach Laser said that Elijah did a good job at left tackle when he came in. It's obviously tough losing so many guys there, but having played with him in practice, how much faith do you have in Elijah to step in and stay there and do a good job?
Yeah, Elijah came in. He had a great offseason. He came up here and he was all in from the beginning. Working out with the guys, fit right in, and he just wanted to work and he just wanted to get better, and he just wanted to know what our system was all about. And I thought he had a great mini camp, and then came back and had a really good training camp, really strong training camp. And I think that paid off for him. He got a ton of reps with a few of our tackles being hurt in camp, including myself. So he just stepped in. He did what he's been doing all camp, just being reliable. And he's a guy that came here and he had some things that he wanted to prove. And he when his opportunity called, he was able to step in and really be steady for us. So he's just a guy. He's reliable. He's a veteran guy, and he's games like that. You can grow so much from him because you just go out there and you're not thinking about all that. You're just playing, and that's what he did. And super excited about what we're able to do because that just means we have so much more depth.
Germain, does the presence of an Aaron Donald cause you to adjust the way you would block any other team's 30 or 40 fronts?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because we have so much belief in our guys on the inside and outside. I know James and Cody were able to keep him under wraps for the most part. He's a hell of a player though. Probably the best defensive lineman, if not in a modern since I've been watching football, but probably in history. So, he's someone to account for. But when you're confident in your technique and the technique we've been working, you just have to go out there and do your technique. He's always going to be a challenge, but you don't change what you're doing. You just you have to be sharp. You can't have a day of where your technique lets you down because he'll exploit those things.
Unrelated to that, have you ever had a situation in a game where somebody's struggling with somebody and they've said to you, "Hey, help me out here for a minute. Let's double them, or let's give me a hand here"?
Well, everybody's got to do their job. So, I can't, I technically can't take away from my job to help somebody else unless that's built into the protection or built into the scheme. But, usually if you'd hate for it to come to that in any situation. But if it does, we have a great coaching staff that they'll be able to make those adjustments. You hope it doesn't get to that. You hope it doesn't get to that. And I don't think that's something that we've had to worry about around here.
Germain, Cincinnati's defense swallowed up Kirk a couple times this past weekend. What do you guys, what have you studied on tape as it comes to this defense and the pass rush, and just kind of what stands out?
They're a really sound defense. They went out this offseason. They signed some players that they thought could really help them, and I think those players are. Those guys have been contributors in the past, and they'll be contributors on this defense. And but it's another one of those schemes where if we're doing our things and we're executing and we're clicking, I think we can have some success. We just can't shoot ourselves in the foot. We can't beat ourselves. But I think if we're executing the play call and doing what we're coached to do in practice all week, I think we can have success. And that's that goes for any defense. But they're a solid front. They have some good defensive linemen on the ends and on the inside. Some guys that have done nothing but get better, like Trey Hendrickson and Sam Herbert on the outside. Those guys, they play hard and they're good at what they do. So it's another week of challenges. Every defense and every defensive line has standout players that you have to account for, and you have to minimize them or they can cause issues.